So then we are back with more understandings from the Renewed Covenant, from the Aramaic English translation of the word. This translation is from then the original documents from the Hebrews of old, from the prophets of Israel. And they were translated for our benefit, so we can understand the time of the end. As we understand, we are during the time of the rebuilding. And then nations are then refurbishing themselves, and there are particular countries advanced in their plans of refurbishment for quite some time. Can easily understand the areas then related with Great Britain. Obviously Mr. Cameron is doing a great job, and it doesn't take much for a person then understanding the areas of political reforms, and obviously the English-speaking people should take very seriously regarding Mr. Cameron's refurbishment or reforms, political reforms, and then should be very inclined to do the same, because they are in fact working in privatization of their services, because he knows best when it's privatized then there is no space for people to steal, to destroy, and then to make a mockery out of the system, because then the private sector always works leaning, and then a very lean system, and providing the best services. As far as our country, obviously we are on the same path, and then the Australia, New Zealand, you are the English-speaking people, and it's very easy understanding that the main reforms in the areas of copying would obviously come from Great Britain. As nations such as Germany, they are already leading the way in terms of releasing themselves from unrequired plans. The PM of Germany already rejected a plan of the aerospace deal, very wise, because a time of making the country lean and properly managing. So we are experiencing many areas where you find very clearly indications of the scripture related with the time of the end in terms of rebuilding. So then not only a person speaks of, but then many enlightened people from the scriptures of old can understand and then relate the information to other countries, other people, so they can be on the same page. So very exciting times where you find then many areas of governments, and people are then observing and testifying of the great refurbishment of our time. So please stay tuned, much more coming up, because then, as was spoken before, there are areas of Proverbs where then Shlimon had a system also that came from heaven, so they can explore those areas and then translate it to our time, and those can be very beneficial. And as far as leadership of the secular governments, the Creator Yahweh has never indicated what kind of gender should be leading. Has to be made very clear, because the only distinction you find is related only with the elect or the Hebraic people. As far as Gentiles, there is no indication what kind of a gender takes leadership. However, when a person is a believer in the Holy Scriptures from of old, from the Aramaic or Hebraic understanding, a person has a tendency of having males doing the most of the hard work. And then in terms of administration, some of them in politics are very dirty games, so to speak, and it has to have a certain composure, and those are then obviously given to the person with the most composure to do the work. But however, the scriptures never delineated in the world of the Gentiles what gender should lead. That's why then when you find Shaul the Shaliach in Romans, he said, then let every soul be subject to the authorities of the kingdom to come government. He used the soul, not males, because he was dealing with the Gentiles. So it shows then the neutral understanding of it. However, countries they can elect any person they want. However, during the time of the end, we understand that Yahweh has decided to use then the country of the end as doing trade with her. So then you can understand what he's trying to say. There is a tendency of secular governments of electing women. However, those are for the people to make a decision, and heaven has not indicated what kind of gender should be used for Gentile ruling. It never did. However, it does when speaking of the elect. Please stay tuned.